Blessed be all of my Aries people out there. It's time to have a look and see what's going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025 and what it's all about. And a quick reminder, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website, integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. And with all that said, let's have a look and see what is going on with that November forecast. November has a lot of activity going on in Scorpio, your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, bonus income, as well as intimacy and even earnings or winnings or responsibilities you might share with partners, be they business partners, romantic partners, or any kind of shared income stream or shared responsibility concern. Now we have the Sun there until the 21st. We've got Venus there from the 6th until the 30th, and even a new moon there on the 20th, which is sort of not only influencing the last 10 days of November, but also the beginnings of December. And with this much activity in this part of your chart, we are definitely seeing a huge focus on spawning new wealth opportunities, new income, and even new stacking bonus income onto what your maybe more predictable earnings or predictable monthly take-home income is. This is also going to be a very important month for love and romance and intimacy because, of course, Venus here is going to be helping to bring out more opportunities to get more intimate, more vulnerable, and maybe even a bit more courageous experiences with romantic partners, or even attract romantic partner opportunities for those of you who are single or are available to new people. Just understand, when Venus is in the 8th house, people tend to get also a little bit more geared towards fantasy fulfillment, so things could also be getting quite creative in the romance world as well. Jupiter will be turning retrograde in your 4th house of home, of family, of living conditions, and home economy, Cancer, and will be retrograde for the rest of 2025. Now, Jupiter retrograde can actually be a really good retrograde because it highlights opportunities for us to go back and retrieve things that we didn't know would be good for us, that maybe we didn't know we were sleeping on. I always call it finding buried treasure in your own backyard, or even you could look at it as Jupiter going retrograde and showing you treasures, opportunities, and gifts that maybe we didn't understand or didn't judge fairly, or we didn't really give a fair shake. And for you, since this is happening in the 4th house of home and family, this is not only going to, again, add to that theme of boosts to income and boosts to wealth, which is a huge theme of this month for you, but also at the same time, things that could actually bring a lot of new fun, new joy, as well as maybe even new territory to explore in family relationships, family goals, household goals, or even opportunities to strengthen family relationships, bring more adventure, bring more ambition, bring more of an outgoing, as well as active family life, and closer, again, stronger family unions into your world. We also have Uranus turning Uranus is retrograde, but he's retrograding back into Taurus, this month. And this is your 2nd house of income, employment, and security. And Uranus retrograde is a planet that likes to relieve people of excess activity. Whenever Uranus goes retrograde, sometimes things can get a little bit sleepy, but it can actually be a really good transit, especially if things have been chaotic, excessive, or activity has been out of control. Anything where you may have been dealing with maybe some kind of, overactivity, or maybe hyper-stressful situations, or things that have been actually creating problems at work, or things that have been sources of chaos or struggle or even holdups or holdbacks in work or employment pursuits are going to start getting eased during this month as well. And we also have a full moon in this part of your chart on the 5th, which is creating a 2-week influence period from the 5th up until the 19th or 20th of the month, depending on where you live in the world. And a full moon is all about culminations, transitions, and endings. And so a lot of you may also find yourselves in a very unique position to be able to make some kind of jump, some kind of leap, some kind of departure as far as a work or financial condition is concerned, maybe even trading up to climb the food chain a little bit, whether it's internally or externally, or maybe close up some kind of project or work commitment that has maybe been keeping you stuck in a circle. Mars will be in Sagittarius all month long and well into December, which is your 9th house of expansion, big moves, big travel opportunities, as well as anything to do with official dealings and spiritual concerns. Now, Mars in the 9th house can be a very valuable asset because it's all about block busting. It's all about knocking down walls and opening roads in the 9th house, especially when it's time to get you out of a bubble or out of a stuck situation or out of a calcified experience. Now, anything that has been maybe chaining you to a certain, routine, chaining you to a certain status quo, or anything that has been maybe blocking you from being able to actually make some kind of major move, literally or figuratively, is likely going to be getting heavily challenged by Mars this month. But also, anything in your life that you've been working on as far as projects or, again, personal pursuits are concerned that have been forced to stay slow or had gotten sidelined or stay on the back burner are also going to be getting a boost by Mars to become bigger and maybe mature faster if they've especially fallen behind themselves. Mercury will be retrograde this month and occupying not only Sagittarius, that 9th house that we've spoken about, but also it's going to be occupying Scorpio, going back into Scorpio until the 29th. And so we've got this double Mercury retrograde here. And so a big theme of Mercury retrograde, of course, is always going to be a focus on how do we reverse, review, reassess, or redirect things that have been in play. This can sometimes, especially between the 9th and the 29th, feel almost like your life is in kind of a confusing flux. However, at the same time, this is going to present a lot of opportunities for you Aries people to be able to do a lot of rewrites, especially when it comes to how your income, your expenses, or again, your personal projects are running, how they're scheduled, how they're functioning. Just keep in mind that this could also be very advantageous in other ways, because reversals can also mean reversing old decisions, especially ones that we regret from the past. And we also have, of course, the sun moving into Sagittarius at the end of the month as well. And that is going to be focusing on bringing attention, enhancement, support, and even healing to things that have been maybe, again, stuck in a rut, or maybe staying too slow, or not progressing or evolving fast enough that maybe you would like to accomplish for yourself, your personal life, or maybe your work, or even maybe a personal spiritual path. And that's also going to be a big part of early December. So that is what your November 2025 astrology overview is, Aries. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Taurus people out there, sun, moon, and rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. So what's going on when it comes to your November, and what's the overall feel of November? Well, we've got the sun and Venus and even a new moon in your 7th house, Scorpio. This is the area that talks about your closest one-on-one connections, the boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all of your closest relationships or most involved joint ventures and pursuits fall under the rule of the 7th house. And with the Sun and Venus here for the vast majority of the month, with the Sun being there until the 21st, Venus being there from the 6th until the 30th, this is a time of drawing in and drawing closer valuable alliances, valuable partnerships, and also valuable joining of forces wherever and however you can. You might be noticing this month if you have been flying solo, or maybe you've been in situations where it's been very hard for you to maybe join forces or see eye to eye with people. Venus is working really, really hard to either smooth out rough spots in close personal connections, or with the Sun, maybe even attract new people to come in to also play the role or play the part that you need them to play. Now, this could be something very valuable, say, in business or in work or even just close friendships. But this is also a very, very strong period when it comes to evolving romantic relationships, evolving romantic partnerships, and even bringing in more closeness and more loyalty. We also have this new moon bringing in a great deal of new opportunities to crystallize new unions, crystallize stronger connections for ourselves, if that is what we desire. And that is not only going to be a theme of November, but also the first week or so of December as well. With the Sun, this is also going to be a time of bringing in more fun, lightness, levity, and wholesome simplicity into partnerships, joint ventures, and close relationships. And so it's going to be a time of, again, some very important bonding. We also have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, which is your third house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, helpful third parties, and collaborations. So this could also be seen as another social area of your chart. Jupiter will be retrograde here until the end of 2025. Actually, he's going to be retrograde there for longer than that, but he'll be retrograde for a minute. We'll just put it that way. And with Jupiter retrograde, we have to remember that this is a retrograde that is really looking out for us. You're going to find that a lot of opportunities, maybe a lot of people, a lot of deals, a lot of hookups, or even a lot of collaboration opportunities or teamwork opportunities, or even professional opportunities that maybe you've been sleeping on, or maybe that you have misjudged, or maybe that you've not been giving a fair shake, are going to be brought back into your life so that you can look at them and see them for what they're worth. Jupiter retrograde can be kind of a helpful little bitch in that way, where he kind of calls out where we might not necessarily know when we're doing good for ourselves. And there can sometimes be things that come up, where we don't see the value in something, or we don't realize when something was a golden ticket, or we don't know there's buried treasure in our own backyard. And so this is going to be a period where maybe helpful people, again, helpful hookups, matchmaking opportunities, link ups, or even doors are getting opened for you that maybe you could have opened for yourself before, but now you get to see why you needed to and why you still can. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering your sign. And this is kind of an interesting experience because Uranus retrograde is all about chilling things out, where there has been chaos or where there's been a lot of distractions, a lot of hyperactivity or excessive activity. And since this is going into your sign, it really is all about you, but also your personal projects, your personal goals, your personal ambitions, things in your life that are really just about you. And when Uranus is retrograde in your sign, it really is just about you. It is about you getting a lot of distractions and a lot of chaos and a lot of excess obligations and priorities off your plate so that you can actually catch up on some of your own personal time, your own personal ambitions, your own personal goals that you'd like to accomplish for yourself in your life, regardless of what's going on with other people, right? Regardless of what's going on with work or with partners or with family or with friends. Because whenever we have a planet in our sign, it reminds us that we have an obligation to live our own life to the fullest as well. And with Uranus retrograde going back into your sign, it's going to help organize and clarify, but also calm down any kind of restless or demanding things that have maybe been too much of a distraction or getting in the way of those those priorities or of those ambitions. In fact, on the 5th, we have a full moon in Taurus, your sign, And in the 2 weeks following the 5th, it's likely you're going to get a chance to have some kind of personal project, ambition, or wish get a chance to go through a bit of a level up, an upgrade or an update, or maybe even a completion with a victory. And this is going to be something that is allowing you to kind of take a very important leap forward with whatever this ambition is or this personal desire is. Because remember, full moons are about culminations, transitions, and endings, but it's endings that are also endings forward. We also have Mars in Sagittarius starting on the 4th and all the way up into December. This is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, intimacy, bonus income, and anything that you might share with partners, be they romantic partners or business partners. Now, Mars in the 8th house can actually be a really, really good transit. On the personal front, and I have to be careful not to get demonetized, I'll just let you know right away, Mars can get wild and things can get hot when he is in the 8th house. And so a lot of you might be enjoying a pretty wild and hot November with a special someone. And you might also find that a bit more of enjoyment of the body and carnal pleasures are going to be a big theme in love and romantic affairs. And if you are single or available to new people, well, guess what? Mars wants to make sure you get the opportunity to enjoy that as well. On the financial front, Mars can be really good here because there's an opportunity to start really chiseling and clearing away at expenses, debts, and obligations that have been hurting us financially. However, you want to be careful with Mars in the 8th house as well. Sometimes there can be a tendency to over-leverage what we have as far as good fortune. And you don't want to be gambling, you don't want to be borrowing more than you need, and you don't want to be lending money if you can help it. We also have Mercury retrograde this month, spanning 2 signs, that Sagittarius 8th house, but also moving back into Scorpio, that 7th house of partnerships. And whenever we have Mercury retrograde, remember, it's about reviews, it's about reversals, retrievals, and redirections. And you might also find that a lot of stories are coming up for reassessment this month, especially when it comes to things that you've been kind of trucking along with for a very, very long time. Maybe even paths or opportunities to make a big left turn to enhance a relationship or an economic situation are going to come up. But you are going to be required to undo or reverse old decisions or old contracts or old plans. Pay attention to what comes up. You want to keep an open mind. You want to keep an open mind about it. So that's what I've got for you, Taurus people. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Gemini people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what's going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. Quick reminder, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, where you can follow the links down below. So what is going on when it comes to your November? What's the overview for you? Well, a lot of November, we have a great deal of activity going on in your 6th house of work, your reputation, your schedule, the teams that you work on, and your general public standing. The Sun and Venus are there pretty much all month long, the Sun until the 21st, Venus from the 6th until the 30th, but we also have a new moon there in Scorpio on the 20th, which is also going to be lighting up early December. And so this month is going to have a huge focus on you making some very important work, team, and maybe even earning power pivots. With the Sun and Venus here, you might be noticing that you are getting a chance to switch into a lot more favorable situations or favorable lanes. This can be a time of better business. This can be a time of getting more competitive offers, whether it's from superiors or maybe even new working opportunities. And also a lot of transformations going on, not only when it comes to the assignments or the projects or the work that you have to do, but with the people that you're working with. And that is going to be a big deal this month because with this new moon, you may be noticing that your personal roster or your team is changing, but you are also on the rise in terms of your social and professional prominence. We also have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, and Jupiter will be retrograde here until the end of 2025 and beyond. And this is your second house of income, employment, and security. Jupiter retrograde is an interesting one because it takes us back a little bit in time to review, to reassess, and revisit things that maybe we were sleeping on, or maybe things we didn't let play out, that we didn't properly explore or properly prioritize, that could actually be really good for us. Sleeping on treasure, or maybe even, golden tickets, so to speak. And sometimes Jupiter retrograde has a way of rubbing it in, but at the same time, it's just trying to be a helpful bitch, but helpful when Jupiter is retrograde. And throughout the course of this month and beyond, you might be seeing work, career, or financial opportunities that could actually have been golden tickets resurface in your life, or maybe even sometimes, kind of one of those doy moments where you see maybe something that you could have done or something you could have gotten involved with start to become a lot more promising and competitive. However, the good news is it's not just being rubbed in your face to go, dummy you, it's actually still inviting you back or welcoming you in. So see what's going on this month, because there could be a lot of interesting shifts in terms of how you want to set up your world to perhaps be more accommodating than you were before. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus, your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and shortcuts. And with Uranus retrograde, this is all about calming things down, relaxing chaotic or demanding or disorganized things that maybe actually have been getting in our way or creating problems. Now for you, it's quite unique because Uranus retrograde in the 12th house is about getting rid of problems that we have carried from the past, whether we have chosen to carry them or we have let them remain attached or stuck to us or involved with us in whatever way. Well, Uranus retrograde likes to say, F that. And what can often happen here is that you might find some things that have been with you for years or even decades that have been the sources of a lot of strife, reconsideration, maybe some things that have kind of kept you from being able to really explore what you wanted to, stepping out. In fact, this full moon on the 5th in Taurus, in that 12th house, is likely in the 2 weeks following going to completely put a stop or close up something that has actually been an attachment from the past that has been taking up too much space and making your world just a little bit too uncomfortable or unruly for good to happen. On the 4th, Mars will be entering Sagittarius, which is your 7th house of partnerships and closest one-on-one connections. This is the area that rules the closest, again, most involved relationships you have, or the deepest relationships that you have. The boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, those kinds of relationships. Mars, in this part of the chart, is very advantageous because it's all about knocking down walls to having the best relationships possible. However, with Mars there, this could also be a time where a lot of walls, obstacles, and obstructions to having the best relationships or the best alliances or the best business partnerships possible are also going to be heavily challenged. And that can be difficult, especially if those walls and obstacles were tolerated in the past or perhaps appeased in the past. This is, however, a great month for eliminating obstacles to couple goals, to partnership goals, or even business goals, because you may also notice that partners, spouses, love interests, and close friends are also becoming bigger power players and might actually be coming into some resources or new strength to help eliminate some issues that have been a part of the scenery. We also have Mercury retrograde this month spanning 2 signs, Sagittarius, that partnership sector, and Scorpio, that work sector. And with Mercury retrograde, it's always a time of retrievals, reassessments, and even reversals. And for a lot of you, this could be a time where some old stories or some old goals, old roads, or old opportunities are going to be resurfacing, both in partnership concerns, partnership goals, but even, yes, around work and around work futures or career futures or goals around finance. And with Mercury retrograde, this can be a really good thing. However, it could upset maybe a status quo or several that you have been living with. So it will also, again, reintroduce these things, but you may also notice that it will rock the boat as well. So that is what I've got for you guys. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. Blessed be all of my Cancerian people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, you got to head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. So what's going on when it comes to your November? What's the overview? What's the feel? This month, there is a lot of activity concentrating in your fifth house of love and romance, but also the area of personal business enterprises, creative pursuits, and artistic pursuits. We have the sun in Scorpio, that fifth house, until the 21st. Venus is there from the 6th until the 30th. And we also have a new moon there on the 20th. So this marks a very important turning point month in all matters of your personal life, as well as, again, maybe personal business goals or any kind of creative pursuits you want. This month is going to bring a very strong honeymoon feel to all relationships, especially for those of you looking to maybe bring some kind of new spark in. Because Venus is all about bringing in the luxury, the pleasure, the fun, but also bringing in more opportunities to explore pleasures with our partner outside of what has become kind of our normal or our mainstay. The sun is also bringing in an opportunity to create stronger friendships in romance, right? Because we don't want to be in a partnership where we're not friends with the person. We want to be able to be good friends. And what the sun does is it brings out that opportunity through enhanced bonding experiences, even bringing a little bit of that wholesome simplicity and a bit of that child self spark into your relationship with your sweetheart, getting a chance to be kids again with each other. And of course, thanks to that new moon, this is also going to be a really, really strong month for new love and new relationship opportunities for those of you looking to maybe have a honeymoon season yourselves with somebody new, or looking to attract or be attracted to somebody new. We also have Jupiter retrograde in your sign starting this month, which is going to be a big theme of now up until the beginning of 2026. Jupiter retrograde is a very interesting and very helpful retrograde, but I've often seen it sometimes take people through a little bit of an ego whirl, and we don't want to do that. When Jupiter goes retrograde, he likes to take us back in time and remind us, not rub in our faces, but remind us of things that could have actually been very useful and very helpful to us that we have not given proper priority, given proper attention, or invested in or put to good use, and gives us the opportunity to do it right. And with Jupiter retrograde in your sign, it is all about you, your personal road, your personal priorities, your personal ambitions, and things that are all about your solo journey. Whenever we have planets active in our sign, it reminds us that we are obligated to live the life we are here to live. And it's not just about who we are connected to through work or romance or family or whatever. And so a lot of things that maybe could have been really good for fulfilling personal wishes, goals, or dreams that you are supposed to fulfill for yourself, are going to come back. Pay attention to where buried treasure is, maybe a little closer to home than you thought, or maybe even opportunities to satisfy or accomplish things that we didn't know we could a certain way are going to show up for us, especially ones that we misjudged or didn't actually give a fair shake in the past. We also have Uranus retrograde going back into Taurus, your 11th house of friendships, your support system, and community. And with Uranus retrograde in the 11th house, this is about transforming the lay of the land of your social life. So we get a chance to see what has been getting in the way of having the happiest, healthiest social life, friendships, community, or support system possible. Uranus retrograde really challenges the chaotic or the dysfunctional or the toxic or the unruly in order to bring in a focus on peace, health, balance, and equanimity. And so if you've been noticing your social life either has been fraught with those challenges or maybe has not been able to really exist because of those challenges showing up in other areas of your life, Uranus retrograde, like I said, is going to be merciless when it comes to getting rid of what brings the chaos, but also allows for a lot of care and kindness, and also people that are going to be, able to get closer to you because all of that stuff is getting out of the way. And this could be helping you in your personal life, this could be helping you with a close personal circle, or even just helping you in your professional affairs. However, we do also have a full moon in this part of your chart on the 5th as well. And this can indicate over the course of the 2 weeks following the 5th, where there may be something that has to be brought to an end around a social connection or a social association. Usually with a full moon in the 11th house, this is not a surprise. This can sometimes create a situation where we know we have to leave a certain group, leave a team, or maybe even, and a not very healthy social connection or friendship. But whatever happens, it might be something that is just a part of that Uranus retrograde full moon combo that is necessary or maybe overdue. We also have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th, where he will be not only for November, but also for a great deal of December. And this is your 6th house of work, your reputation, your schedule, the teams that you work on, the teams that you serve with, and the people that you serve, and your community standing. Now, with Mars in the 6th house, this is a time where you are getting a lot of opportunities to compete for advancement, especially when it comes to raising up your rank in your professional or your community standing, or maybe even getting a chance to break a glass ceiling somewhere in terms of your earning power, or maybe climbing any kind of professional ladder. And we also have Mercury turning retrograde in this part of your chart on the 9th, and Mercury will be kind of moving back and forth between here and even your 5th house of love and romance, Scorpio, all the while this is happening. And so you may notice that Mercury retrogrades focus on transformation through reversals, revisits, retrievals, and also redirections, are changing the lay of the land around a professional, work, or financial situation and your personal life that could create a kind of a topsy-turvy kind of vibe for you, but also at the same time change the layout into something that works a lot more smoothly and brings a lot more rewards to your work life and your love life. So that is what I've got for your astrology for November, and I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Leo people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what's going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, you got to go on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. So what's going on when it comes to your November? November has got a lot of power getting put in your 4th house of home, family, living situation, and home economy, Scorpio. And that is going to be one of the prominent themes of this month for you, with the sun being there until the 21st, Venus being there from the 6th until the 30th, and of course a new moon here as well on the 20th, which is covering not only the final 10 days of November, but it is also covering the first few days or so of December. And what all of this basically does is gives you an opportunity to completely transform your quality of life because of some kind of new comfort, new luxury, new resources, or maybe even new assistance coming in to raise things up around home and family concerns. Financially, this is going to be a great month for both yourself and any other financial contributors to your household or to maybe a family unit. But you're also going to be noticing it's going to be a very, very strong month for planting roots, whether it's planting roots in a home or family situation, planting new roots in a committed relationship, or maybe even getting a chance to turn over a very important page in a family situation. And you will also see, yes, this is a great month for anybody looking to make some big adjustments environmentally, or even make a move if that's on the agenda. We also have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer in your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and shortcuts. And what Jupiter retrograde does is that he kind of brings things back from the past that would be valuable assets to us that maybe we didn't know we were sleeping on, or reading the wrong way, or not investing in properly, or not giving enough priority to, so that we can actually do something with them. And Jupiter can do it in a way that does put us through a bit of an ego check because, well, let's face it, sometimes it's not exactly fun to look back and see where we didn't do something that would have been good for us. And I'm saying that myself as well as a Leo moon. But we want to be also grateful for what Jupiter retrograde is doing and not just be hurt bitches. Now, with Jupiter retrograde in the 12th house, you might be noticing that things are coming back that could have been important gifts, handoffs, or maybe even shortcuts afforded to you by other people, hookups of some kind, or maybe even secret help that was offered to you sometime earlier this year that maybe you didn't prioritize or read right. Pay attention to where it's probably a second and last chance to do it right. Again, saying it to myself as the Leo moon as well. We also have Uranus turning retrograde in Taurus, and this is your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, station, promotions, and raises. And with Uranus retrograde in your 10th house now, he was retrograde in Gemini, and now he's gone back into Taurus. This is going to be a very strong period for anybody looking to get ahead by getting out of chaotic or even static situations. Because Uranus retrograde likes to challenge obstacles that are maybe even holding us back by giving us too much to do, or keeping us too busy, or keeping us tied up in things that are ultimately distractions from better opportunities. Uranus retrograde here will also be helping to simmer down situations that seem to be in some kind of gridlock due to overactivity. And you may also notice Uranus retrograde getting some kind of enemy or obstacle off your professional path. A full moon here on the 5th is also creating an opportunity for a major graduation and level up moment in a workspace situation. So this could be an opportunity for a promotion, a new job, a role advancement, maybe even a raise for some of you, or something that is getting set up for the future by an authority figure, new or known. We also have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th. This is your 5th house of love, romance, but also personal business enterprises and artistic pursuits. And with Mars here from the 4th well into December, you're going to find that another focus on block busting and obstacle clearing is here. Mars is all about getting rid of things that stand in the way of healthy, winning situations. And so if you've been feeling maybe like there has been a lot of roadblocks to the accomplishment of a personal relationship goal or a joint relationship goal, or maybe even a roadblock in the way of you getting a chance to connect with a relationship opportunity that works for you, this is going to be a very helpful month. However, Mars also does want to focus on solving problems. And so this will also be a really, really strong month for getting rid of problems that maybe have been kind of following you or following a relationship situation, whether it's from within or without the relationship situation, and bringing more permanent solutions that will help everyone to, again, start on a cleaner slate, and again, therefore, have a stronger connection. We also have Mercury retrograde starting on the 9th in Sagittarius, and also spanning that 5th house of love and romance and that 4th house of home and family Scorpio until he turns direct on the 29th. When we have Mercury do this, remember, Mercury is all about reversals, retrievals, redirections, and anything that might be changing courses of how things are moving forward. This is likely something that is going to change a lot of pre-established norms in both areas of your life for the sake of setting up something better, something superior. But it's also going to be setting us free from a lot of decisions or a lot of things that maybe we established or took part in once upon a time that we wish we could take back. Just keep in mind, with Mercury retrograde in the 5th house and the 4th house, this can also be a period where some things do come up from the past, whether it's past family stuff or past relationship stuff. And it's going to be coming up to be, again, reviewed and maybe even either retrieved or reversed. That all depends on what is going on with each of you individual Leos. But it is something that could also be very helpful, and again, help turn an important page in both areas of your life. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Virgo people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. So what's going on when it comes to your November? What's the feel? What's the overview? What's the general vibe? A lot of this month is going to be focusing very heavily on your social life, both the social life you have in terms of your professional world, your professional network, and your personal social life. We've got the Sun, Venus, and a new moon all in Scorpio, which is your 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, helpful third parties, matchmaking, hookups, and also collaborations that could turn into strong unions. And we've got the Sun here until the 21st. We've got Venus here from the 6th until the 30th. And then we've got a new moon here on the 20th, which is also not only governing the final 10 days of November, but also the first couple of days of December. And what this is all doing is basically getting more active interference in your life where you need it. Good interference. And good interference does happen, especially when it comes to being able to find things that you can't find for yourself. That is what the Sun in the 3rd house is for. People coming in, linking things up, hooking things up, handing things off, bringing gifts, opening doors for you, whatever doors need to be opened. Venus comes in as the matchmaker. If you do need to be able to be matched up with people, matched up with jobs, matched up with opportunities, with meetings, whatever the case may be, in whatever context it may be, Venus is here to make that so. And a new moon here is also talking about the establishment of some kind of new committed road that you're going to be embarking on as we close up November and go into December. And whatever this road is, it is something that is also changing a life course or a trajectory around an important project, an important priority, or something that you are trying to integrate as a mainstay in your life. We also have Jupiter retrograde in Cancer starting this month. This is your 11th house of friendships, support system, and community. And with Jupiter retrograde here, from not only just the duration of 2025, but also going into early 2026, you might be noticing a lot of things from your past that maybe would have been golden tickets that you either did not or could not give proper attention, priority, consideration to, maybe we misjudged them, maybe we didn't notice them, maybe we were too tunnel visioned on other things, are coming back for you to actually reintegrate for your own advantage, if you do it right this time. And I'm saying that as a Virgo sun, but Jupiter retrograde can be kind of a helpful but cheeky bitch in that way, because it's all about getting shown where you had a golden ticket and you didn't know it. Now, in this case, in the 11th house, this could be talking about people, about friendships. This could be about travel plans. This could be friends helping you to set things back up, or to reconnect dots, or to reconnect things that you maybe didn't hold connected, or you didn't know how to connect, or you let not connect, or let kind of fray. Whatever the case is, it's a good fix. But as I've been saying to a few signs, it can definitely be an ego check for the overly sensitive and defensive. So let's not be those people. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus on this new kind of path through your 9th house of expansion, growth, big moves, big travel opportunities, as well as official dealings, government and legal proceedings, long distance connections, and even your spiritual path. Now, with Uranus retrograde in the 9th house, this is a great time where a lot of you are going to be noticing a lot of things that have been maybe kept down, or kept small, or kept stagnant because of demanding priorities, excess activity, chaotic activity, or distractions, are going to be getting raised up. Uranus retrograde likes to give things a chance to flourish that have been denied their opportunity to actually have their proper time. And sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes things get extra demanding. Sometimes people or situations start to kind of dominate the space, or dominate the energy, or dominate the narrative. And with Uranus retrograde, if you've been feeling like a move, or a promotion, or a negotiation, or a project, or something that you've been looking to launch has been forced to wait too long, or has been staying small, or staying stopped, Uranus retrograde is going to get whatever the stopper is and get them the hell out. We also have a full moon in this part of your chart on the 5th. And so for the 2 weeks following the 5th, from the 5th up until the 19th, 20th, depending on where you live in the world, we're also seeing some kind of removal of a major block, obstacle, or road stop in your life. Something that has been held at a stall is either going to end or start moving again. But whatever the case is, there is a very strong support flow happening for you. This could be something that dammed up a river of wealth, a river of maybe social activity, or maybe even a river of interest, or maybe it was just a block on some kind of major jump you've been waiting to make. We also have Mars in Sagittarius as of the 4th, and this is going to be not only a big theme of November, but also a great deal of December. And this is your 4th house of home, family, living situation, and home economy. And with Mars in the 4th house, this is a time of major pushes for improvements through the removal of a lot of things that have been constant problems, or things that constantly reintroduce problems. Now, this can be kind of a cleanup kind of transit, especially when it comes to old family business, or even old financial family problems, which can be really, really good, because Mars likes to get rid of things that keep on bringing up more problems. However, this can also stir up certain challenges on the home and family front. While Mars is focusing on solutions, we have to remember sometimes it can stir things up where people who are not looking to solve or fix what makes a problem tick. They're just kind of looking to let sleeping dogs lie, even though they might not be sleeping. And so some family dramas could kick up around the holidays here, but it is still a good aspect, even though there could be some tough love stuff coming from Mars here. We also have Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius on the 9th, and then mid-month he moves back into Scorpio, your 3rd house, and he will be retrograde up until the 29th. And so this is all about major rearrangements, major reversals, and major retrievals going on. And whenever Mercury retrograde spans 2 signs, we see opportunities for some serious big wins that require us to undo, unmake, or reverse old decisions, old plans, old arrangements, and old commitments in favor of new ones. It can create for a very topsy-turvy kind of month, especially if you're dealing with situations that you have to kind of, again, reverse and redirect and rearrange in a way where it almost looks like nothing of the original setup, but it will be something that's really good for you and your family. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this helpful. And if you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all my Libra people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. And just a quick reminder, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. And so let's have a look and see what is going on when it comes to the overview for your November. November has a lot, and I mean a lot, of really strong, really beneficial activity going on in your second house of income, employment, and security. We've got the sun there until the 21st. We've got Venus there from the 6th until the 30th. And we have a new moon there on the 20th, not only finishing up November, but also highlighting early December. And what this means for a lot of you is that this is going to be an incredibly prolific month in all matters financial. Venus is going to be giving you some really important boosts through easy attraction of wealth, becoming a bit of a money magnet, as one might say, when Venus is in an income sector such as this for you. But the sun is also adding some additional benefits in the form of professional prestige and popularity, wherever you need to get the attention, enhancement, and support that you are looking for, whether it is something you're looking to change about maybe your professional standing, or maybe where you're working, how you're working, who you're working with. But this new moon is also granting a new beginning in professional and financial matters as well. So what we can expect from that is that it's very possible that a lot of you Libra people could be scoring some kind of new work or financial commitment of enormous benefit as we also wrap up November. So it's a consistent good from start to finish. We also have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, another work and financial area of your chart, the 10th house of upward mobility, status, station, promotions, and raises. Now, with Jupiter turning retrograde, he tends to be very helpful, but in kind of a smartass kind of way. So, you can't be too egotistical or taking things too personally with Jupiter retrograde. But what he tends to do is he likes to reconnect, remind, and review things from the past that would have been good that we maybe did not actually invest in or prioritize or work with properly. And it's not necessarily just to tease. It's about reintroduction. So hopefully this second chance or this additional chance will be taken up. Now for you, this could show up in a lot of opportunities that maybe were showing up earlier this year. Things that could have been helping you to transfer or get in line for a promotion or a better job, or work under an authority figure, or transform something about a work or financial pathway that you have, or maybe even take on a new one that in the past you may have snoozed on, or maybe you didn't give the time or couldn't give the time. The reasons are actually quite irrelevant. The point of it all is for the rest of 2025 and even early 2026, you're getting a chance to see where some golden tickets and golden opportunities that you missed because you weren't paying attention or didn't understand are now getting a chance to still be yours. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus, and this is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, but also intimacy, shared responsibilities, and anything that you might share with partners, be they romantic partners or business partners. And when Uranus turns retrograde, or in this case, he's already retrograde, but re-entering this part of your chart, This is going to bring in a lot of order and a lot of restoration of peace, order, and harmony to chaotic situations around shared financial or just shared personal responsibilities. You might be noticing things getting easier around partners, business partners, spouses, it doesn't matter, especially in terms of their economic standing or their economic situation. This is also going to be a great time for slowing down or maybe even curbing expenses that seem to be routinely coming up, whether it's just regular household stuff or things that have cropped up over the last couple of months. And this is also going to be a time where you're getting a chance to rewind certain things that maybe have turned out to be bad deals, bad plans, or bad arrangements, undoing things that have actually been costing you. So pay attention to where you're getting a chance to get that break. We also have a full moon in this part of your chart on the 5th, creating a very special 2-week influence window where a lot of things could be getting quite hot for you Libra people, because a full moon in the 8th house likes to focus on more of the intimate and sensual side of things, raising the energy and bringing out a lot more passion, but also a great deal of more interconnective intensity in partnerships, or even giving you a chance to enjoy some important interludes or some passionate interludes with new people, if that's what you're looking for. We also have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th. And this is your 6th house. I'm sorry, 6th house. I'm looking at too many numbers here. This is your 3rd house. 3rd house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, as well as anything to do with collaborations and helpful third parties. And so with Mars here, Mars likes to bring helpers into our life, bringing closer important friends, important allies, ones that we might know already and are just getting more involved, or maybe even bringing in new people that could be valuable assets to your network. Mars in the 3rd house is all about helping us to fight important battles, things that maybe we have been struggling with, especially when it comes to things that have been keeping an aspect of our life stagnant or stuck. But it does also push us to go where the action is and also welcome in helpers. So if you've been extremely private or insular, or God forbid, secretive, you might not necessarily be getting the full benefit of Mars in the 3rd house. Because with Mars in the 3rd house, people are not just opening doors for us, they're breaking down walls. But they need to know what's going on. So don't be one of those people that needs the help, but is constantly lying to the world and gaslighting the world and thinking you're fine. Let helpers help you. We also have Mercury turning retrograde here on the 9th. And Mercury will be actually retrograde spanning 2 signs, this 3rd house, and also your 2nd house, Scorpio, during his period of retrograde from the 9th until the 29th. And what this means is that your network and your professional and financial world is going through a massive review, rewind, retrieval, and reversal. But this can be very advantageous, especially when it comes to reversing bad trends that got started once upon a time. It could create a bit of a topsy-turvy kind of feel because you might notice your schedule, the lay of the land, and how you are ordering your life is up for, well, a bit of upheaval. And yet at the same time, it's about straightening something out that's been out of balance for a while. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Scorpio people out there, sun, moon, and rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. So what is going on when it comes to your November? What's the overview of the astrology weather for you? Well, we've got a great deal of activity consistently going on in your sign, start to finish. The sun is there until the 21st. Venus is there from the 6th until the 30th. And we even have a new moon turning your first house on the 20th. And carrying a 2-week influence up until the early days of December. And whenever we have planetary activity in our sign, remember, it's all about bringing things back to a focus on us, our personal goals, our personal ambitions, our independent journeys, our independent personal wishes, things that are really about us and our story, right? It's a reminder that we are obligated to live our own lives as well and getting ourselves everything we need to do that, because the first house brings us back to us, irrespective of what's going on with other people or work or whatever you're attached to or involved with. Now, with Venus in your sign, this is a time where you are getting raised up in the world. You are getting new recognition. You are getting all kinds of new supportive attention and also becoming a love, favor, affection, and popularity magnet everywhere that you go. But what's interesting about this is that you've got to remember it's about you and what you've got going on that is getting raised up. It is not about new attachment for attachment's sake. We also have the sun here bringing in additional attention, enhancement, and support to maybe projects or goals or maybe personal roads or wishes that you have that you've not been able to fully invest in, give the proper amount of attention or time, or possibly even things that have maybe been forced to stay quiet or have been collecting dust. And a new moon here is going to be bringing in some kind of new path that could actually transform where you feel most at home in the world itself. Something that could actually set up a new goalpost, a new ambition, or perhaps even fulfill a personal wish or ambition you've been carrying for a long time. We also have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, which is your 9th house of expansion, growth, big moves, big travel opportunities, as well as official dealings, government and legal matters, as well as your spiritual path and practice. Now, when Jupiter turns retrograde, it's actually very helpful, but I've also noticed this be very challenging for people that might be a little too sensitive and egotistical at the same time. So we want to make sure that we are not those kinds of people and we know how to reap the benefits of Jupiter retrograde. Jupiter retrograde likes to bring back into our lives things that we did not make proper use of, things that we should have invested in, things that we should have given the time, the energy, or the priority to, because they would have actually been very valuable to us. Now, for a lot of you, because train's right on time, for a lot of you, this could actually be something that is opening up a lot of doors around big moves, big travel ambitions, or anything that could actually be getting you out of a bubble or a territory, literally or figuratively, that has been holding you back or becoming too much of an oppressive anchor. When we talk about a territory, we could be talking about, a living space. We could be talking about a social space. We could be talking about a professional space. We could also be looking at Jupiter retrograde, bringing back into your life things that could actually be helping you to advance what has been progressing too slowly to actually be rewarding. And so this could be also helping you by bringing back into your life the people, the assets, or maybe even the, as I've said, golden tickets that have been trying to be yours all year long that maybe you weren't looking for or looking at right. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus, your 7th house of partnerships and closest one-on-one connections. And this is the area that rules the boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you have your most involved one-on-one connections with. And with Uranus retrograde, this is a time where troubles get a chance to get diminished. Any kind of situation that has been maybe a dark cloud or maybe a concern or a worry hanging over an important union or several important unions are likely going to dissolve during this retrograde, because Uranus retrograde in the 7th house is about getting rid of unpleasant, chaotic, or troubling elements, things that have been maybe creating too much hectic activity, creating too much anxiety, or maybe even people that keep reintroducing too much hectic activity or hectic anxiety, bringing in more peace to your personal life, or maybe even peace to, again, a joint venture so that it can flourish. We also have a full moon here on the 5th, which is creating another 2-week influence where a lot of you are getting a chance to have an important transition or graduation moment with at least one, possibly more, important one-on-one connections. A full moon is all about culminations, transitions, and endings, but also graduations and advancements. There could be a lot of status changes going on for a lot of Scorpio people this month, or it could even be ending an era or a road and beginning some kind of important new journey, new venture, or new commitment through that closure during that 2-week period as well for you to enjoy with at least, again, one close one-on-one connection. We also have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th, where he's going to be for a while, not just November, but also December. This is your second house of income, employment, and security. And whenever we have Mars go into an income sector, it's time to make some overtime pay and to be working a lot more. Mars likes to really amplify not only the workload, but also the payoff and payout for that workload. So you might be noticing November being a bit more demanding in all things financial and all things professional, and yet at the same time, a lot more competitive and again, a lot more prosperous. Just be careful with Mars in this part of your chart. This can sometimes create a situation where we might need to be ready to compete a bit more aggressively in the market or in the workplace as well. And it can sometimes bring out some rivalries that get a little bit heated in all things relating to one's work life or workspace, or maybe even business or work rivals. We also have Mercury retrograde starting on November 9th in this part of your chart. But Mercury retrograde will also be spanning Sagittarius and Scorpio during his trip from the 9th until the 29th. So it's spanning your second house and your first house. And with Mercury retrograde in a span kind of transit like this, what we often see is an opportunity to do some very important reversals and rerouting. And for you, this is about, yes, turning your personal and financial world upside down, but in turning it upside down in a way that actually makes it work better, work more efficiently, work in a way where the payoffs and payouts for what you're doing actually come faster. However, because it is turning the world upside down, it might be tricky every once in a while working all of this in. With Mercury retrograde here, though, you might also notice that because of these turnarounds and these upside downs, you're also getting a chance to reverse a lot of bad trends that have kind of settled in these areas of your life as well. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Sagittarius people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. Quick reminder, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, you do need to go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow those links in the down bar below. So what is going on when it comes to the astrology overview for you? Well, we've got a great deal, and I mean a great deal of activity going on in your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and shortcuts, with the Sun in Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio, and the new Moon in Scorpio, keeping this part of your chart active start to finish throughout November. The Sun is there until the 21st, Venus is there from the 6th to the 30th, and then we have a new Moon lighting it up on the 20th and creating a 2-week influence window all the way up until early December. Now, with all of this activity in the 12th house, this is going to be a month where a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes, as well as in the past, have a way of turning on and turning up. The Sun here is actually very helpful to you because with the Sun in the 12th house, this is about reconnection. This is about revival. This is also about shining lights on things that have been getting neglected in your life, that are getting a chance to finally maybe have their day in the Sun. whether this is a personal project, a relationship ambition, or maybe even some kind of financial investment that has been maybe, again, kind of maybe going, kind of getting passed over. Venus in Scorpio is going to be very helpful to you because you might also be benefiting from a lot of very important secret favors and secret power moves getting made by people who have the power to use. Whether this could be something going on with a really cool boss, shortcuts, hidden opportunities being presented to you, backroom dealings, as well as also important gifts and handoffs coming your way that will be taking good care of you both in your practical world and your personal world. And a new moon in this part of your chart is a resurrection moon. Whenever we have a new moon in the 12th house, it's about a chance for a new beginning for something old. Now, for a lot of you, this is going to be something that does get brought back to life, whether this is something that you used to do or used to have, but it ended, or something that you used to want or used to try to make happen that never quite got there. And this is going to not only, again, be a part of your November, but a big part of early December. We also have Jupiter retrograde in Cancer starting this month, and he's going to actually be retrograde up until we go into early 2026. And this is your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, as well as intimacy and self-employment earnings, bonus income, and anything that might be going on with partners, business partners, or romantic partners as far as shared income or shared responsibilities. When Jupiter goes retrograde, it's a time to check your ego and make sure that you are ready to be helped in a way that might make you feel a little self-conscious. And the reason I say that is because throughout the course of this month and beyond, you're going to start seeing a lot of things get reintroduced into your life that could have been golden tickets, golden opportunities that you missed out on because you didn't give them proper priority. This could be something that could be incredibly helpful in your financial world, around a personal business, or maybe even a side income or a hustle you're trying to grow. This could also be something that is raising the roof in terms of maybe some kind of investment or maybe an opportunity for a big move or a big pivot on a professional path. You may also find that during this time, partners, romantic partners and business partners are also becoming a lot more successful and prolific in their own right. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus, your 6th house of work, reputation, schedule, your community standing, as well as anything relating to what you are putting out there and what you're known for, starting to reorganize your reputation a little bit, but also bring a bit more stability, bring a bit more order and predictability to your life's routine. If you have been kind of feeling like life has been flying by the seat of its pants, or it's been very hard to maintain consistency, this is going to be a very important aspect for you. But it's also going to be helping you to get away from spaces, environments, and maybe even professional obligations that have been reintroducing expense and chaos into your life. Uranus retrograde is all about taming the wild. And you might also notice that your work life and your professional life and even your community standing is becoming a lot more predictable and stable. Yes, but also troublemakers. Whether they are literal troublemakers, as in people, or they are figurative troublemakers, are disappearing. We also have a full moon in this part of your chart on the 5th. And this is creating a 2-week influence period where a lot of you are likely going to get a chance to transform or change a lane that you've been on in a work or community setting. Something that could actually be setting you up for a big jump or maybe even some kind of more promotive opportunity within the next 6 months. We also have Mars entering your sign on the 4th. And when Mars goes into our sign, we are getting quite a few power-ups all at the same time. Whenever we have planets go into our sign, it's a reminder that we have a life to live. That is our life to live. And we can't just live for what we have going on, right? It's not all about what we're connected to. Work, family, partners, whatever. We are obligated to also contribute life to this life. And with Mars coming into your 1st house, you might be noticing a lot of personal projects, personal roads, and personal ambitions starting to become a lot more substantial in terms of their presence and maybe even their profitability. You might also find that with Mars in your first house, you are getting pulled closer to important people that are meant to be on those journeys with you. Because even though this is about your personal story, your personal ambitions, other people have those ambitions as well. And so a dream squad, a dream team, or maybe some very important partnership or collaboration opportunities are also going to be coming your way throughout November and December. And finally, we have Mercury turning retrograde on the 9th in this part of your chart. But what's unique about this retrograde is that he's going to be spanning both your sign, Sagittarius, and your 12th house of the past and secrets, Scorpio, during his trip, which lasts from the 9th up until the 29th. And whenever we have Mercury retrograde span two signs, it's a time of some upheaval, but upheaval for the good. Now, Mercury retrograde in your sign is giving you a chance to maybe redo or maybe even rework something that has maybe already come out the gate as far as a project, a plan, or maybe something that you wish for yourself that doesn't seem to be going down the road you wanted it to go. And this is going to give you a lot of time and a lot of resources this month to straighten things out. But also with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house, the second half of his term, you're also going to get a chance to reconnect with some important contacts or important social or support threads that maybe drifted or dwindled in recent history. So that is what I've got for you, Sagittarius people out there. I hope you found this helpful. And also, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website, integrativemysticism.com. Look forward to seeing you, and I will see you all again soon. Take care. Blessed be all of my Capricorn people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. Quick reminder, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, just head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. So what is going on when it comes to the overview for your astrology this month? We've got a great deal of activity going on in your 11th house of friendships, support system, and community all month long, which even dovetails into December quite nicely. We've got the Sun in Scorpio. From the 1st up until the 21st, we've got Venus in Scorpio from the 6th until the 30th, and we've got a new moon in Scorpio as well on the 20th, which again creates a window of influence all the way up until early December. With this much activity in the 11th house, this is a time where you're going to be noticing your social life going through a very important boom, and one that is actually going to be attracting into your life friends, allies, cohorts, and even a new sense of community that is actually going to be raising up your world in the practical, not just in the social. That is what the Sun in the 11th house is all about, bringing in stronger bonds, giving chances for us to actually have friendships and support system and community that go beyond mere esteem. But we also have Venus here, bringing in gifts, bringing in helpful people that could be actually doing things, finding things, presenting things to you that you've not been able to find or gain or attain for yourself. This is also a time where you might notice your love life becoming a lot more outgoing, a lot more adventurous, or maybe even a tad more extroverted, as social support systems for couples are also going to be expanding. And if you are single or are available to new people, it may be through a more robust, active social life that new love comes your way. So if you've been in hermit mode, if you have been isolating, self-isolating, or trying to pull things to you, remember, November is a month about learning we can't necessarily attract everything to us where we are. We have to go where the action is. The new moon is also going to be creating an opportunity for at least one, maybe more than one, important new beginning for existing and new friendship opportunities that are going to change the lay of the land or the vibe of your world. And again, that's going to be a very strong theme of the end of November and also early December. We also have Jupiter turning retrograde in Cancer, where he's going to be retrograde for the rest of 2025 and then some. And when Jupiter is retrograde, we have to be ready not to be hypersensitive egomaniacs, because when we have Jupiter turn retrograde, he has a way of really helping us out, but also rubbing some things in every once in a while. And that is because Jupiter retrograde is all about returning and maybe reintroducing things into our life that could be valuable assets, golden tickets, and winning opportunities that we have been snoozing on, that we have been taking too long to do any good with, and give us chances to make a difference. Because this is happening in your 7th house of partnerships, the area that rules closest one-on-one connections, boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you have your most involved one-on-one connections and tightest personal connections or deepest personal connections or joint ventures with, this is likely going to be changing a lot of future trajectories of these kinds of relationships in your life for the good, especially when it comes to things that maybe you and or a partner have been not allowing to evolve or did not integrate early this year that could have actually been a very valuable asset to the partnership or maybe even the family or the business, depending on what kind of partnership we're talking about here. And for those of you who are single or are available to new people, yes, it is possible that people that maybe we didn't exactly read the right way, or we maybe slept on, or took too long, or didn't approach the right way, might be getting reintroduced so that something that never really got off the ground has a chance to. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus, your 5th house, which is also an area of love and romance. But this also talks about personal business enterprises and artistic pursuits. And with Uranus retrograde, it is a period of settling. It is a period of getting rid of things that are chaotic, things that are disorganized, things that are hyperactive, and things that are too intense so that we can actually enjoy a flourishing. And for a lot of the people out there, we don't really always see where sometimes the reason something is not growing or not maturing or not becoming successful is because of how hyperactive and out of control it is. So things that have maybe been standing in the way of a relationship goal, or maybe things that have been holding back a personal business enterprise, or things that have maybe been getting in the way or cluttering up the schedule that have been preventing some kind of fulfillment of one of these aims, is a lot of those distractions are getting cleared out by this Uranus retrograde throughout November and even December. We also have a full moon in this part of your chart, which is opening a 2-week influence period between the 5th and the 19th, 20th, depending on where you live in the world. And this is going to be a time where a major page turn is going on with an important venture, an important relationship, or maybe even a status around a romantic or, again, personal business or artistic goal. This could be, again, the turning of a page that allows a lot of single Capricorn people to, well, hopefully, if they want to, step out and not necessarily be single anymore, or maybe graduate an existing romantic relationship in your life, or close up with great success a personal project or goal that could actually pay off. We also have Mars entering Sagittarius, your 12th house of the past, private matters, secrets, hidden opportunities, and shortcuts on the 4th. And whenever Mars goes into the 12th house, we are seeing a cleanup crew kind of experience going on. Mars in the 12th house is all about purging what has been retained, hoarded, or following from the past that has actually been the reason for new things not beginning. Remember, we need endings to have beginnings. We can only have so much reality going on at one point in time. And for a lot of you, this is going to be very valuable because a lot of things that have maybe been following you from the past or keeping you attached to certain people, places, or things, nouns, are going to be getting cleared by Mars. Mars is also going to be presenting new and, let's say, more direct, effective solutions for bringing about endings, transitions, or transformations that you've not been able to complete yourself until now. And that's going to be a big theme of November and December. And finally, we also have Mercury retrograde starting on November 9th in that 12th house Sagittarius. but he's going to have a unique trip this time around because he's also going back into Scorpio mid-month. And so he's going to span 2 signs while he's retrograde, the 9th to the 29th. And whenever we have Mercury retrograde spanning 2 signs, it's a time of a bit of upheaval, but some very important reversals. And so for a lot of you, this could be a time where you're getting a chance to do some big rewinds as far as old decisions that you've made, old commitments around your social life, or maybe even private endeavors, and even retrieve a lot of important connections, as well as even retrieve a lot of handoffs, a lot of secrets, a lot of shortcuts and hookups that maybe we didn't do the right thing with when we got them the first time. So that is what I've got for you Capricorn people. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Aquarius people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see just what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. And just a quick reminder for everybody out there, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. So what's happening? What's your November look like? What's the overview of your astrology weather? Well, we've got a great deal of activity going on in your 10th house of career, Scorpio, start to finish. The sun is there until the 21st. We've got Venus there from the 6th until the 30th. And we've also got a new moon there on the 20th, which is also extending a 2-week influence into early December. And so this is going to be a month of a lot of new commitments and new beginnings that are going to be changing a career or business trajectory for you into something that is not only more personally satisfying, thanks to the sun, but also something that is going to be a lot more profitable and maybe even bring you to a place where you're enjoying not only the company that you're keeping, but the business that you're serving or doing or doling out, thanks to Venus. Now, this could be a month where a lot of you are getting a chance to enjoy some very important rises in your clout, whether this has to do with your clout amongst authority figures, new or known, or possibly even a lot of important gifts coming your way thanks to that Venus and new moon. Whatever the case is, though, be prepared. This is going to change the way you are likely going to be relating to your work life for the better, but you are going to be, walking through November a lot more high-powered than maybe you felt in 2025. We also have Jupiter retrograde in Cancer this month, which is going to be a presence not only for the rest of 2025, but also early 2026. And Jupiter retrograde is a tricky retrograde because it's actually really good, but I've often found that it really helps not to be an insecure egomaniac baby. So let's not be those people, and let's talk about Jupiter retrograde. Jupiter retrograde has a way of reintroducing us to things that we didn't give proper attention, that we didn't put the work in with, that we didn't bite when the time was right. And for you, this is occurring in your 6th house of work, reputation, your schedule, your community standing, as well as even the teams that you operate with. And so with Jupiter retrograde here, this can actually be another really big wealth booster, another big career booster, but it's going to be reintroducing into your life things from earlier in 2025 that you may have been snoozing on, or things that maybe you didn't give the time or priority, and your reasons are totally irrelevant. Nobody cares. It's just about giving you a second chance, or maybe a third or fourth, to do something that could actually be a huge win in terms of your earning power or your work life. Like I said, Jupiter retrograde can be kind of a cheeky bitch, and so kind of like me. And so you really want to be careful not to take it personally. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to score. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus, which is your 4th house of home, family, living situation, and home economy. And for the duration of his retrograde period, he will be here. And this is going to be bringing an opportunity to settle a lot of chaotic elements or a lot of disorganized or a lot of frenetic activity that maybe has been a presence in a residential situation, a family situation, or your home economy for some time. Now, Uranus retrograde can also bring a lot of peace into situations that have been fraught with conflict. So if you have been having challenges with relatives or family members, encountering obstacles or blockages, this is really good. But also at the same time, if you have been waiting for an opportunity to make a clean break with a household, family, residential, or home economic priority, this is going to get a lot of the distractions, demands, costs, or energy grabs out of your way. We also have a full moon in Taurus, same place, on the 5th, opening a 2-week influence period where there's going to be an opportunity to bring about a very important closure of some kind of household, family, or home economic matter. This is something that's going to be cleaning your plate and also giving you a clean break, especially for those of you who've been looking to maybe make some kind of major transformation, an environmental transformation, a move, or maybe you're looking to close up some kind of old family or economic business. However, just be careful. A full moon here can sometimes raise the energy, and you might struggle dealing with people who don't have the self-possession to cope with intense energy, so sometimes drama can come up in family affairs. We also have Mars entering Sagittarius on the 4th, which is your 11th house of friendships, support system, and community. And Mars here is extremely valuable because Mars likes to work hard for us by bringing people closer to us that are going to operate kind of more like superheroes into our life. So when we talk about superheroes, these could be friends that you know and recognize as kind of like oddball superhero personalities, or you might be having new ones show up in your life as well to get further integrated into your life as a way of building a stronger support system for you. Mars brings people to help us fight our battles, and also Mars likes to tear down walls in friendships so that people are closer, tighter, and better bonded. Keep in mind, though, Mars is the warrior planet, right? Honor amongst brothers, honor amongst sisterhoods, honor amongst friends is paramount. So you may also find that the fake, the frenemy, or the imposter types of people in your life are also going to be getting heavily challenged because Mars doesn't do fake anyone. He only wants the true blue for you. We also have Mercury retrograde starting in this part of your chart on the 9th. However, Mercury retrograde is having an interesting route this month where he's going to actually be spanning 2 different signs. He's going to start in this 11th house of friendship, Sagittarius, but then also move back into your 10th house of career, Scorpio, mid-month. And so again, spanning 2 signs as he does his retrograde term, the 9th through the 29th. And when this happens, we see a major overhaul going on where a lot of reversals, retrievals, and rewinds are occurring that are going to kind of create a little bit of a disarray in your social life and your career life. However, what's very useful here is that you're also getting a chance to rewind the clock or turn back time on a lot of things that have developed that you wish didn't develop, that you wish didn't settle in. And this could be rewinding things to a better road, a better choice, a better option, or maybe even give you a chance to go back and remake some old decisions a way you'd much prefer you did in the first place. So that is what I've got for you Aquarius people out there. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and should you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com. Blessed be all of my Pisces people out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for November 2025. Quick reminder, if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, just got to head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. So let's have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your month. What's the overview? What's the vibe? What's the astrology weather here? Throughout the month, there is a great deal of activity occurring in your ninth house of expansion, growth, big moves, big travel opportunities, long distance connections, official dealings, government and legal matters, and your spiritual life. We've got the Sun here in Scorpio until the 21st. We've got Venus in Scorpio from the 6th until the 30th. And we've also got a new moon here on the 20th, which is creating a 2-week influence period extending into early December. And when we have this much activity taking place in the ninth house, this is a very important month for getting you out of stuck or idle conditions. And for a lot of you Pisces people, you might be noticing big moves, transfer opportunities, lane changes, things that are going to actually kind of force you to come out of your shell or even abandon a shell or container that you have pretty much only haunted at this point in the game. When it comes to Venus in the ninth house, this is where we see a lot of doors opening up for us to actually boost our prestige, to rise up in the professional world, but also on the personal life level. Things are becoming a little bit more wild, a bit more spiritual, and even a lot more exotic, experimental, and adventurous. And you may notice that things are taking that kind of flavor with a romantic partner, a love interest, new or known, or possibly even something that is transforming the future trajectory of an important connection in your life. The Sun here is also taking something that has been forced to wait its turn, forced to stay small, or forced to wait on other conditions and giving it the power it needs to thrive, whether we feel ready for that thing or that situation to actually develop at all or not. This can actually be a very good transit. However, it can also stir up some controversy because if other interests or other priorities or, God forbid, other people are still holding on to a torch that they probably had no business holding, it might stir up some drama with them. Maybe it already has. But it's time for you and the right people to rise up. This could be, again, occurring in an office space, a social space, a spiritual space, or maybe even a digital space. This new moon is also going to be raising you up in the world by opening up opportunities to create new adventures, and actually even maybe do some traveling or finally commit to some kind of big trip or a big move that you have been maybe fantasizing about, right? All the pieces are showing up, the who, when, where, and how are showing up. It's a very, again, expansive month. We also have Jupiter retrograde in Cancer starting this month, which is going to be a big theme of the rest of 2025 and also early 2026. Now, Jupiter retrograde is kind of a cheeky bastard, kind of like me. And so you got to be ready when Jupiter retrograde gets down to work, because he can kind of rub things in, kind of like me, but also he does want to help. Me too. And what happens with Jupiter retrograde is that we often see things that maybe we slept on, things that we did not give priority or handle correctly or approach correctly or give time or space to, are reintroduced into our life for a chance for us to do something right, versus maybe how we did it before. Now for you, this is occurring in your 5th house of love, romance, but also personal business enterprises and artistic pursuits. And this could be a month where a lot of you are getting a chance to get reintroduced to things that maybe didn't exactly pan out the way they were meant to, in a way where they would have taken good care of you. A love interest, a partner, maybe a new relationship opportunity for those of you who are single or available to people or talking to people, or maybe even something that could have been raising up a personal business ambition, but it didn't end up evolving or going in the way in accordance with its initial intentions. Jupiter retrograde can also be very helpful with that, especially in situations where business or artistic pursuits, it's kind of like, this is not what I set out to do. This initial goal, intention, or dream did not culminate in what I intended it to be. And so Jupiter retrograde is a fixer, but again, we can't be insecure and egotistical about it, because sometimes what happens is when golden tickets, ideal people, ideal opportunities, or fixes show up, Jupiter retrograde can do it in a way that makes us feel a little insecure, but we need to also own why we probably get the second chance and what we can do differently this time. And again, this could be really helpful to you and a romantic partner, you and a love interest, you and your business, it doesn't matter. We also have Uranus retrograde re-entering Taurus, which is your third house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, as well as collaborations and helpful third parties. And when Uranus is retrograde in the third house, this is an opportunity for a lot of important escapes, especially when it comes to things that the longer they remain committed to or bound to us, the harder life gets, the harder life is. And sometimes that happens, right? We see that with accounts, we see that with coworkers, we see that with teammates, we see that with neighbors, we see that with all kinds of different things that can bind, latch, and attach. Uranus retrograde is all about freedom from that which binds or that which controls, or again, the longer it's there, the worse life gets, or the more idle, stagnant, or calcified life gets. You might notice that this is also going to be introducing and reintroducing golden tickets into your life, as Uranus retrograde can often do, but you have to be smart about how you go about prioritizing what shows up. We have a full moon in this part of your chart on the 5th, which is helping you also in a very big way because it's helping to end some kind of binding agreement or contract or commitment, whether it's contemporary or very old, that has been working against you. This could be, again, closing an account, going no contact with somebody, ending an agreement, or closing up something that will never be fulfilled and yet at the same time has a cost. And this is going to occur between the 5th and the 19th of the month. We also have Mars in Sagittarius on the 4th, and Mars is going to stay there up until, well into December. This is your 10th house of career, upward mobility, status, promotions, and raises. And when Mars goes here, this is a time where you got to be ready. You are going to be having your economy go through the roof in a beautiful way, because what happens with Mars in the 4th house is you're getting a chance to get out of what has maybe been a glass ceiling kind of situation, a limitation on your earning power, a limitation on your prestige, a limitation on your visibility. In fact, Mars in the 10th house can put us in a very public and competitive way, but you may also notice some very important helpers showing up on the career and business front, whether they are new or known, coming closer to help also boost that earning power. We also have Mercury retrograde occurring here on the 9th, and this Mercury retrograde is going to actually be kind of unique because it spans 2 signs. It's going to start in your 10th house, then go back into your 9th house, Scorpio, mid-month. So from the 9th to the 29th, again, spanning 2 signs. This is going to be an important transit because you're getting a chance to do a lot of very important reroutes, reversals, reconsiderations, and even rewinds, especially when it comes to things that have, again, come down roads that they were never meant to come down, around business concerns, maybe, again, anything to do with your spiritual life, contracts, agreements, expansion opportunities, maybe things around finances, long-distance connections, travel, living arrangements, it doesn't matter. Getting a chance to rewind where we may have accidentally found ourselves going, wow, I've been on the wrong road for a while, or this road is never going to loop back around to what I actually want. I'm on a timeline that has nothing to do with my original intent. This can be actually really, really good. Just be careful with Mercury retrograde doing this. Some people who counted on you not figuring it out might freak. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, don't forget my name is Nico, Son of Selene, and if you ever want to get a personal reading with me, head on over to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.